right. Hello, friends. It's been a little bit since I've made a longer video. This is primarily for people who are new to the channel. I've noticed a lot of growth in the past couple months. So if you're a new friend, hello. You're not a subscriber. You are my friend now. That is how that works. You press that subscribe button. You are my friend now. I'm so sorry, but this is just how it works. You can't get out of it now. But anyways, the bus project has been coming along a lot. And I wanted to kind of go over some of the history of me working on this bus and how I got it and some plans for the future. So that's what we're going to do right now. This is a little bit more of a struggle than I thought. So I'm going to try and do this as fast as possible because I know this is kind of boring. My name's Sherm. I'm 25 years old right now. And I got Green here behind me way before she was green and before she was running. So I got her at the ripe old age of 13. That's my first vehicle. She is a 1977 Volkswagen microbus. Some call her transporter, some call her van. It really doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. We found this in Wichita Falls. We got it for $1,300. I'll be so straight up. 13-year-old me had no clue what I was doing. I was ripping out wires. I was just tearing the sucker down. I got her driving just after high school. I drove her to college for a little bit. Met a girl who ends up now being my wife. I love you, Lily, if you're watching this. Summer of 2023, I worked in the Smoky Mountains National Park as a whitewater raft guide. One of the most fun jobs I've ever had. But I kitted out Green on the inside to live in. And I did that for about 5 months. And it was so much fun. I was in one spot, so it wasn't like a kind of exact van life. I feel like it's cheating calling it van life, but I was living in Green. So I guess that's a success. The goal of our road trip is to find where we want to settle down for the rest of our lives. And Mississippi is great, but we really want to see what's out there for us. So in order to do that, we need to fix up Green. And she is not in a good spot for that. So there's your catch up. So we are currently in the middle of a front suspension rebuild. I have all of the parts for the front suspension inside my shop right there. But right now we're trying to fix the area that the front suspension is going to be going in. So all of this got rust neutralized. I showed you guys that in short. Here's a little bit of a spoiler. This is what it looks like after all the priming. And I think it turned out really, really nice. I am so freaking excited with how all of the front here turned out. We do have little bits of damage down here in the fender. And then on the inside of the fender, I don't know how echoey this is, I am starting to cut out some of this section here because this was all rusted out. It was so terrible. We're going to have to replace part of this hat channel right here. There's a lot of metal work that's going to have to be done. We've got some spots in here in the front. This is more kind of front body work than anything, but still. I think this would be a good time to start hitting these. This step is going to have to be replaced because it is just Swiss cheese, man. It is terrible. Same with little bits of this strip here. And then, of course, in the back wheel well here as well. This seems to be the only real section that got like seriously damaged. I know in the other wheel well, there's a little bit of damage up in here, a little bit of rust. But in the passenger wheel well here, we have to replace this section here, a little bit of this section right here, and then a little bit right here. And then as for the front here, we do have a new front floor I have sitting inside the house at the moment, but that seriously is just going to set inside of here. I'll have to bolt in the steering box and part of the stick shift. I'm going to have to bolt in just to make sure that the floor lines up properly with all the other holes. But once I have the front floor in, I will tack weld it in all along the top there, along these little lips right here that it sits on, and then all along the back here. All right, so we are currently in the back of the bus now. The idea is to do the exact same thing as the front in the back here. So step one, finish up the front section, get the front suspension back in, rebuilt, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. Get the front floor in, coat it all with bed liner, make it look nice and pretty up there. Then extend to this back section here, clean all of this up, put in the floor, bed liner this, then work to the engine bay. Now, in between working on this and cleaning it up, I have a very good opportunity to build in storage for batteries underneath the bus. There's a YouTuber that I watched called Fun for Lewis, and he EV swapped a 74, 73 Volkswagen high top bus, and he had fit Tesla battery module packs in between all of these sections right here in the back floor. And I just, I've wanted to use Tesla batteries to power a camper since I found out that was even possible. Shoot, that was years ago. Um, but I've had that obsession in my head, just like, oh my gosh, they're so energy dense. They're safe enough. It just like they are the perfect camper battery. They cost less than anything you can find on the market right now. Um, Enough ranting about that, but the idea is to have some kind of battery storage underneath the bus here. So whether that's I weld in like tabs to hold boxes that would holster those batteries, or if I have regular batteries, I mean, they absolutely could fit solid, just like slot, slot, slot right there. So I'm going to have to figure out what kind of batteries I'm going to end up using. But this would be a great time to really just make some extra storage under this bus because it's not a big bus. This area back here, it's 5 feet wide by 5 foot deep. It's 25 square feet. Not to mention, if I'm going to get a cabinet in here that'll come about to right here. I made a short about this like a long time ago. It was, I worked out with my previous van build that I did inside of here. I had 12 feet, 12 square feet of walking space in my van. That is nothing. That is something I'm kind of thinking about right now. I'm glad that we're working on the front area still, so that way I still have time to either ponder about this or to save up the money to buy the batteries that I want to use back here. We're getting this shot. Right now we have the engine and transmission removed from the bus, so that gives us a great opportunity to clean up inside the engine bay here. It's nasty. I had tried putting bed liner in here previously, and it's a mess. There's fiberglass repairs everywhere that just look awful. So we are going to be going with the stock drivetrain from this bus. It's a Type 4 engine. It is air cooled, and it's all I got. I've seen a lot of people do Subaru swaps to EJ 22 or 25. I have a buddy of mine, Barry, who has swapped the entire drivetrain from a Subaru Impreza into his 83 Vanagon. And that is not something I'll be able to do in this, unfortunately. I do not have the machining capabilities nor the time and knowledge at the moment to make that happen. So I know Volkswagen engines pretty well, so I feel comfortable taking one around the entire US. It's not going to take me much to take out the engine and transmission on the side of the road with a bottle jack or two. So I feel comfortable with the stock drivetrain that's in here. Another thing, another big upgrade that we're wanting to do, and this is probably something we're going to be spending a lot of money on, but it's something that we really want and feel like we need, and that is a high top for this bus. It is almost impossible to find a high top bus down here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. I know there are some companies that make aftermarket ones, but they're for the T3s, the Vanagons, not for the bay windows. And I've been in Vanagons before, and they seem a little bit wider than these bay windows. So I'm pretty sure one of those high tops would not fit. Not to mention they're extremely angular, and I don't think it would look good with the roundness of these bay windows. So we're probably going to make one ourselves. I've got some kind of basic ideas of how we can craft a high top specifically for this. A lot of fiberglass work, a lot of wood work. I want to stand up in this bus. I've stood up in some high tops. Like I have some friends at some of the Volkswagen shows down here that have high tops, and it's so nice. It's so nice. I just want to stand up in my bus and not have to like like hold on, let me show you. All right. So without a floor and without the ceiling that goes on top of this, I'm still having to crouch. This sucks. All I want to do, man, is have a bed up top. I want to have a cooktop down here. I want to have some windows there and there. And I just want to be able to stand all the way up and cook inside my van. Is that too much to ask? But that's one thing. If we're gonna like really splurge of our own money, we're gonna be building that high top. And I will absolutely make a tutorial on how to do that yourself. I want to be able to build something really cool. And I already think that this is going to be such a cool build on its own with what we can provide, me and my wife. But building a crazy battery system that could run a 12-volt AC for days, possibly like a week nonstop, that would require a lot of money. And it would require a lot of Tesla batteries to fit underneath this floor right here. Now, I can do the work, but with my regular 9 to 5, I can't afford that. But that's okay. We're going to work with what we have. We're going to be getting on the road no matter what. Because either I'm getting this thing on the road and I'm going to travel around the country, or I'm getting this thing on the road and I'm going to travel around the country and have a little bit of AC, and it'd be kind of nice. And I can show you guys how to do all of this kind of work. I was a camper technician, so I know how to implement all of these things. I just don't have the money to do so. So if you guys want to subscribe and like this video, share it with somebody who's interested in builds like this or wants to know more about van life. I'm your guy. I want to be your guy. If you've made it to this point in the video, thank you so much. I want you to know your time is very valuable, so I really appreciate you spending it with me and Green here. And follow to see her turn into a mean green van life machine. You know how that goes. All right, guys. God bless. Peace.